Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Wednesday. It's the 20th of March. It's 2019. And guys, I want to chime in again on Basel III. Big topic. A lot of people are talking about it because it's big. If you've been a gold or a silver bug, this is really big news. In fact, as presented, possibly the biggest news to hit gold and silver in many, many years. But I feel like I need to talk a little bit more about it because I think, and by the way, I'm going to, right now you see on your screen, or on the screen right here, Craig Hemke. He was on Greg Hunter's show, which is USA Watchdog. And I'm going to go down the list of some of the videos here that have been made about Basel III. And I'll start with this one here, Craig Hemke. Craig, basically is the one who brought this to my attention through this video, through Greg Hunter. And I think go looking into it, I was just excited about it. I knew about Basel III, but I never looked into Basel III. And I actually attempted to do that today before making this video, and it's more complex than I anticipated, and I'll get to why, and I'll even link up the PDF document from the Bank of International Settlements and what Basel III actually is. But Craig brought this to my attention, and he is wholly convinced that gold will be revalued as a Tier 1 asset. But he is not alone. He's not alone. He was interviewed on Greg Hunter, talked about it, and let's go to this one here. This is Truth Never Told. This is Chris Duane's channel, and he also not only did he put this on his channel, I think he believes that as well. In fact, he even put a comment in his video down here. Canada's top financial regulator, the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, confirmed early last year that 2019 will be the first full calendar year that Basel III rules will be enforced. Gold held in the institution's vaults or held in trust now qualifies as a 0% risk-weighted for risk-based capital purposes, or risk-weighted asset. That came up quite a bit in the document I was reading, which is technically what a Tier 1 asset is, a 0% risk weighted asset. So I could read the rest of this, but it doesn't really matter. I will tell you that based on this information, lots of central banks have been buying gold too. So I'm going to be completely, try to have as open a mind as possible here, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But at any rate, that's Chris Duane's channel, Truth Never Told, and he's a friend to our channel too, Truth, Money, and Freedom. We have interviewed him, and he's a good guy. Next, I'm going to go to Kitco News. Look at the date on this particular interview. And that, I don't know the name of the gal here, Patricia Moore, was interviewed by the Kitco gal, and basically she was talking about Basel III. And that's back in 2012. That's when they announced Basel III. Basically that there was a plan that started, a certain year and ended a certain year, and I do believe it's 2017 through 2027. It's a 10-year kind of plan, and we'll even get into Basel III and what it does here in just a little bit. But also too, she was convinced, and probably is convinced, that gold will become a Tier 1 asset at that time. And she said so basically in the interview. By the way, every single one of these videos that I'm showing you right now, I will link down below in the description section so you guys can watch these yourself. Okay, then we have Dave with X22 Report. Yep. To him, Basel III activates gold, and gold will bring down the Fed. But that's, pretty much par for the course, with Dave there. With Kerry Lutz and John Rubino, this was a little bit different here because this interview, and it's not very old, this is actually from 2 days ago, basically he was a little bit more ambiguous about what Basel III is and what it does. So on this one, you can't really tell what's going on with it. And then the Andrew Maguire on Greg Hunter. I think, let's see, we had Craig Hemke on Greg Hunter and now Andrew Maguire. And Andrew is convinced as well, basically that this is a deal where gold becomes a tier one asset as well. Um, and he is, one of the biggest, silver and gold bugs you'll find is Andrew Maguire, based out of London. I mentioned him in several interviews that I've done with other people as well. Um, he's the guy who kind of figured out that the paper silver ratio was like 525 to 1. Um, but let's go back to the end here. And here is Mineko 64. Uh, and like I said, I'll link all these below. But I want you guys to watch his video here. Um, I like this man. I respect this man. And I've also interviewed this man. We actually have an interview with Mineko 64. If you look in our channel, it's one of the first ones posted in our new channel here, Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast. So basically, he is saying it's not going to happen, that people either misunderstand or it's just misinformation that's being spread around the web. Now, before he did his video, he did his video, I was pretty confident in the article that I had read from Zero Hedge because it pretty much stated everything as a fact. But the last thing I want to do is spread disinformation. Um, and I looked at the Basel III document and I can't even understand it. So I am not an economist. It's definitely written by economists for economists, but it's freely available. And once again, I'll put the link in the description below to the PDF document. It's a long document, and they keep talking about risk assets and different classifications of risk assets, and they don't say what they are. They don't say if it's gold, if it's bonds, if it's some kind of derivative, if it's mortgage-backed securities, for instance, or paper, silver, or gold. It doesn't say. So I don't know that I have seen anything from the Bank of International Settlements that actually says gold itself, gold as we know it, the yellow metal, will become a tier one asset again. In other words, backing money, at its full value. That's the implication we're dealing with here. This is what everyone thinks it is and thinks it will do. But I have to give some credence here to Mineko. Mineko is one of those guys who could actually read that document from the Bank of International Settlements and actually tell you, and dumb it down for you and I, the average person who is not an economist and not a banker, and and understand completely what's going on with it. And he is saying right now, I'm telling you guys, he is saying this whole thing doesn't exist. Basel III does nothing about revaluing gold to a tier one asset. It's not going to happen. And that shocked me when I saw the video. So that's when I started doing some research today. And, with the research, the videos that you see above, I'd already seen most of them. But the John Rubino video I went through today, I had not seen that one before. And the Kitco video, I had never seen before. And believe me, if you do a search on YouTube for Basel III, you're gonna get a lot of stuff. So I did the best I could to filter through this stuff because I don't want to be someone who's passing on bad information. So I'm going to have to, basically put out this video and say, guys, this may not be what we think it is. I certainly can't understand the documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, and I'm beginning to think others can't either. Um, but Manico is one of those guys who actually could. So I think he's smart enough to, basically not put out disinformation, and I didn't intend to. If I did, and I'm truly sorry, I just, like I said, I was reporting on a story from Zero Hedge. But I have to, like I said, give some credence here to Manico. Now, there's circumstantial evidence here, before everyone gets mad at me. Um, there's circumstantial evidence here that something like this is happening because these central banks have been pouring an enormous amount of resources into getting gold and shoring up their gold. Central banks and big banks. They've been doing it. Everyone knows the story about J.P. Morgan stacking silver. They have gold too. But silver's their big story because they just have so much of it. Central banks around the world buying gold has been big stories. I mean, for silver and gold bugs who've been paying attention to the alternative media, I mean, this has been a big story for like 3 or 4 years. In the case of China, it's been a big story for over 6 years. That's when they became a net buyer. They literally stopped selling. They used to buy and sell gold like everyone else did. Then the Central Bank of China just was buying it. They weren't selling it anymore. Um, and with the I don't know, guys. I'm on the fence on this one, and it's just almost. I'm almost asking Manico, if you do watch this video, please look at the PDF document in the description section and see if you can make heads or tails of it. Because I can't, and I'm sure you probably already have, or you've looked into it. Manico, by the way, even called the Bank of International Settlements and talked to a gal there, and they didn't know anything about gold being a part of Basel III. So it could be disinformation from the secretary there, or it could be you're not allowed to talk about gold in Basel III. It could be that too. I don't know. But Manico's smarter than I am. I'll be the first one to admit it. And I have to give some credence to what he's saying here. And I think everyone who watches this video needs to, at the very least, I know I've got a lot of videos queued up, in the description section, but look at Manico's. Just look at Manico 64's video. Take a look, because he puts out a case here that this may be a bunch of bunk. And if it is, we're getting all excited about nothing. Now, gold will probably still go up anyway. I mean, shoot, you have Goldman Sachs saying that gold will be going up to a minimum of $1,400 this year. And someone else, I can't remember what other bank, actually predicted a number that was in the 1500s. So, I mean, banks are predicting gold's going to go up this year, but there's no, definite reason as to why. If they print more money, that's a reason for gold to go up, but they suppress it. However, if Basel III is accurate and central banks are going to actually start using gold, basically as a reserve and printing money based on that allows them to print a lot more money. And also, too, one more correction. It's B. Gump Shrimp had commented on my earlier video about Basel III and said I was incorrect about the Federal Reserve holding gold at a price of $42.50 an ounce. That's what they had priced it at. And it's actually half of the going rate. And he is correct. And so I want to give a shout out to B. Gump Shrimp for actually commenting on the video and setting me straight on that. Like I said, I don't want to be a guy who is passing off bad information. The information I had is from what the Federal Reserve was valuing gold at from, quite a while ago. So my information was significantly outdated. So thank you again, B. Gum Shrimp. Okay, gang, hopefully this starts you on a journey to try and figure out what's going on with the Bank of International Settlements and Basel III, because I am at a loss here. Once you look at that PDF document, you'll see what I mean. It's quite complicated, and it doesn't define what these assets are that they're talking about in there. So good luck in your journey, and if I find out anything new on Basel III, I'll make a new video. I promise you guys. I was just as excited about it as many of you were. But it looks like this may be a nothing burger. Um, we'll just have to find out. But however, the Brexit still looks like it's going forth on March 29th. So, but there might be nothing with the Bank of International Settlements. All right. Thank you for listening to me drone on again. I appreciate it. You guys all have a wonderful day.